Most men never learn to laugh out loud. I didn't between the ages of 25 and 45. I'm going to show you the 3 masculine attributes that actually build real confidence, the kind that makes women feel safe and men respect you. This isn't about being sensitive or toxic. This is about reclaiming an aspirational masculinity. By the end, you'll have a complete framework you can use today to become the kind of man people want to be around. And if you stay until the end, I'll reveal the one trait that separates confident men from insecure ones. Welcome back to Deeper Dudes. But first, let's talk about why so many young men are completely confused about what masculinity even means. You're told to be strong, but also vulnerable. Be confident, but don't be arrogant. Provide for your family, but don't be obsessed with money. Make the first move, but don't be creepy. The mixed messaging is absolutely everywhere. And here's what nobody tells you. When you don't have a clear code, when you don't know what good masculinity looks like, you either retreat into your room and stop trying, or you overcompensate and become exactly the kind of guy nobody wants to be around. Research shows that 80% of women still expect men to initiate in dating. But at the same time, surveys reveal that women's number 2 complaint about being single is that creeps approach them. And their number 5 complaint is that nobody approaches them at all. So you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. What a load of crap that we're not teaching young men how to navigate this. Here's the truth about masculinity that changes everything. Masculinity isn't about being tough all the time. It's not about never showing emotions or pretending you don't need anyone. And it's definitely not about blaming women or immigrants for your problems. Real masculinity is about having a code, an aspirational framework that guides how you show up in the world. And that framework has 3 core pillars. Provider mindset. This doesn't mean you have to make millions of dollars or that your partner can't work. It means you need a plan to be economically viable. You need skills, certification, a path forward. Because whether we like it or not, young men are still disproportionately evaluated on their ability to signal economic security. That's not fair or unfair. It just is. And the word here is signal. If you're getting your graduate degree, if you're building skills, if you're the guy who goes home early instead of ordering bottles at 2 a.m. because you're being thoughtful about your future, you are signaling resources. And by the way, the best relationships happen when you meet someone and build something together because that shared accomplishment creates a bond that lasts forever. Protection mindset. I've never really felt unsafe in my life. I'm 6'2", 210 pounds. But I remember walking down the street with my sister during COVID. A homeless guy moved suddenly and she jumped out of her skin. I thought it was an overreaction. She said, "Easy for you to say." And it hit me. Women live in a completely different reality than men do. They cross the street when they see men on the sidewalk. They text their friends the address when they go on a first date, just in case something happens. One of the reasons Waymo is taking off is because women feel safer in autonomous cars than with male drivers. So protection isn't about being aggressive or starting fights at bars. It's about breaking them up. It's about recognizing that women are physically smaller and face dangers you've never experienced. It's about making people feel safe, especially those who are more vulnerable than you. And here's what's interesting. 2,500 women a year are murdered by men in this country. That's 2,500 too many. But 10,000 men kill another man every year. And 40,000 men kill themselves. So if you go on a date with a man, just be clear, he's 16 times more likely to go home and hurt himself than hurt you. Young men aren't predators. They're struggling. And we need to stop pathologizing masculine energy while recognizing we absolutely need to update what masculinity means. Initiation mindset. This is the one nobody talks about. Men need to learn how to make the open. How to approach a stranger at school and say, "Hey, do you want to grab the game this weekend?" How to express romantic interest while making the other person feel safe. How to risk public failure. Because here's the thing, The real obstacle between most people and success isn't talent or intelligence, it's fear of public failure. When you start a business and it doesn't work, people notice for about 5 seconds. Then they go back to thinking about themselves. When you approach someone and express interest respectfully and they're not interested, you're both going to be fine. The fear of public failure is a curb that's 2 inches high. It doesn't actually matter, but most of us never learn to get over it. I've learned that I've been less afraid of public failure than most people, and that's been my secret weapon. Most of my businesses have failed, but I kept going. I kept risking rejection, and eventually some things worked. You need to reallocate your risk. Young men are taking way too much risk on gambling sites and saying aggressive things online. And they're not taking enough risk offline. They're not applying for jobs they shouldn't get. They're not approaching people and expressing interest in friendship or romance. The only way you get to great yeses is by enduring dozens, if not hundreds of no's. That's initiation, and it's a skill you can practice every single day. Before we go any further, I want to pause for something important. None of what we've been talking about matters if we don't have the energy and clarity to actually implement it. We all know what it feels like to wake up exhausted. No energy, poor focus, and zero motivation. We also know what it feels like when we get good, restful sleep, targeted therapy, and the right supplements. I've personally tested more things than you can imagine. I'm like your personal guinea pig. Everything I have listed in the description below is science-backed and extensively tested. And if you grab anything through my links, you'll be supporting this channel at zero cost to you. Thanks for taking a look. Now let's get back to it. If this is helping, please hit that like button so more men can find this when they need it most. And drop a comment. What's one social risk you're going to take this week? No judgment, just support. Now here's where it gets interesting. Because those 3 pillars, provider, protector, initiator, those are the foundation. But confidence is what makes all of it work. And confidence isn't what most people think it is. Let me tell you what real confidence looks like. Confidence is laughing out loud at someone else's joke. It's saying, wow, that was really funny, and meaning it. When I was younger, I had this messed up belief that acknowledging someone else's humor or success somehow took away from mine, that it was a zero-sum game. I didn't cry between 29 and 44. I didn't laugh out loud. I thought showing emotion was a weakness. But here's what I've learned. The guy who can say to another guy, wow, you're so impressive, or I love that jacket, or dude, you're ripped, good for you, man, that's confidence. That's all it is. Recognizing someone else doesn't diminish you. It shows you're secure enough in yourself that you don't need to tear others down to feel good. And this applies everywhere. In dating, the fastest way to communicate intellect is humor. If you can make a woman laugh, she'll have coffee with you. That was the only way I got dates in high school and college. I made women laugh. But 50% of having a good sense of humor is appreciating other people's cleverness. You don't have to be naturally funny. You can just laugh more. When someone says something funny or even sort of funny, laugh out loud. People love to be around people who laugh. That person is a good time. And here's the secret about what women actually want. Research shows 3 things matter most. Resources. But remember, the key word is signal. You don't need millions. You need discipline and a plan. Intellect. Good decisions under pressure. Storytelling ability. Creativity. These communicate that you can keep the tribe safe. And the most under-leveraged secret weapon is kindness. Not niceness. Kindness. What's the difference? You can be nice to someone's face while trying to get something from them. Kindness is how you treat people who can never do anything for you. Are you patient when the Uber driver takes the wrong turn? Are you kind to service staff? Do you go out of your way to do things for people who will never pay you back? Women notice when you're good to your mom. They notice when you hold doors for strangers. Not because it's performative, but because it signals character. I wasn't born a kind person. I'm not naturally humble. I think I'm a monster in terms of grit and work ethic. But at 44, I started a kindness practice. Every day, I purposely look for ways to be kind. And over time, it becomes reflex memory. You can teach yourself to be kind, and it will change how people see you. Now let's talk about what destroys confidence faster than anything else. Social media. When social went mobile, it created the greatest self-esteem destroyer in history. Suddenly, you're comparing yourself to highlight reels 24/7. You see guys with perfect bodies, perfect lives, making millions in crypto. You see women with filters and impossible beauty standards. Your happiness is prosperity minus envy. And all day long, algorithms are designed to ramp up your envy and create unrealistic expectations. The digitization of dating has made this even worse. When Amazon came along, 50% of retail went online. When Google came along, 93% of search went to one company. Now that dating is digital, there's been a massive consolidation around metrics. For men, it's height and income. Women say they want a man who's 6 feet tall making 6 figures. If you take out men over 50, men who are obese, and men who are married, that's 4% of the population. And the top 10% of men get 60 to 80% of the interest on dating apps, which means 80% of men are fighting over a small fraction of women. This validates every insecurity young men have. It confirms their worst fears. So what's the solution? We need third places, venues where men can demonstrate excellence over time. Because women don't fall in love the same way men do. A guy sees a woman and thinks she's attractive immediately, but women fall in love slowly. He was really nice to his parents at church. He was great at his job. He's so funny, he has the coolest friends. But where are those venues now? Young men aren't going to work. They're not going to church. Attendance at religious institutions is at all-time lows. Men under 30 are spending less time outdoors than prison inmates. So where do you demonstrate excellence? Where do you build confidence in front of people who might become friends, mentors, or romantic partners? This is why I believe in mandatory national service. Places like Singapore and Israel do this. You bring together young people from different backgrounds, different income levels, different religions, and you put them in shared experiences. That's where bonds form. I just spent time with an IDF battalion. Young men and women handling heavy equipment, depending on each other, meeting friends and mates. That's what we're missing. We need massive investments in housing so young people can afford to leave home. We need a $25 minimum wage. We need tax credits for third places, community centers, sports leagues, anything that gets people together. Because when people don't connect, they get lonely. And loneliness leads to blaming others. It leads to nationalism, to anger, to men thinking women are the problem or immigrants are the problem. The real problem is isolation. Here's what I want you to take away. Confidence isn't faking it. It's not pretending to be someone you're not. Confidence is having a code. Provider, protector, initiator. It's practicing kindness every single day. It's risking public failure and realizing the worst-case scenario isn't that bad. It's laughing at other people's jokes. It's recognizing other people's success. It's getting out of your house and taking social risks with real human beings. Your generation has been dealt a tough hand. Social media, economic uncertainty, impossible standards. But you also have something previous generations didn't. You have access to information. You have communities. You have the ability to build a new version of masculinity that celebrates strength without toxicity, that values protection without aggression, that honors initiation without entitlement. The path forward isn't going back to some 1950s version of manhood, and it's not pretending men and women are exactly the same. It's building something new, an aspirational masculinity rooted in confidence, kindness, and courage. When you combine economic viability, physical strength, the ability to initiate, intellectual curiosity, humor, and genuine kindness, you become the kind of man people want to be around. Not just women. Everyone. Your friends respect you. Your family trusts you. And most importantly, you respect yourself. This is how you build real confidence. Not through Instagram likes or dating app matches. Through daily practices that prove to yourself you're someone worth being. Drop a comment. Which of these 3 pillars are you working on first? Number 1, provider mindset. Number 2, protector mindset. Or number 3, initiator mindset. And here's the harder question. What's one social risk you're going to take this week? Well, that's it. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you found it helpful, please be sure to give it a like and maybe even subscribe to Deeper Dudes. And hit the notification bell so you don't miss any new videos. It all helps the channel more than you know, and it also tells us that we should make more content like this. We post videos every other day that tackle real challenges men face. Remember, struggling doesn't make you weak, it makes you human. The fact that you took time to watch this means you're ready for something better. Thanks again for watching and for checking out all the amazing products in the description below. They could jumpstart your healing journey. Catch you in the next one, Deeper Dudes. Until then, keep learning, keep growing, keep thriving.